Hi, it's Chris Titley here, and in today's episode of Scoreboard, the podcast, I'm joined by Hugh Weibgen. Hugh, thank you so much for being part of this series.
No, thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
Hugh, we're here on the 27th of March, 2025. 2025 has been a big year for you. You want to talk about 2025 thus far and how it's been?
Yeah, sure. Started off pretty well, I guess. Got an opportunity to play for the Thunder early in the year, which was an awesome opportunity. Dream come true for me to play a Big Bash game, and was lucky enough to play a few games and be there with this squad in the final. Unfortunately, we came second, but lost to a quality side in the Hurricanes. But yeah, which was an awesome experience, just being around all those players, and I had so many great takeaways from that experience.
And you mentioned a dream come true as a young kid playing cricket 10 years ago. The Big Bash was, in essence, I think it's 14 years now, so probably been around since you're 6 years old. You're probably one of the first generations of people that have started playing cricket while the 2020 has been around. Do you want to talk about your early days of picking up a cricket bat and ball and playing, and where that love came from?
Yeah, sure. My love came from my dad, playing cricket. He never forced it upon me or anything like that, but I just absolutely loved it. And he was always, willing to throw balls to me for however long. So I lived a few years in Victoria, and I had a neighbour there who, we'd play test matches all day and then go and play in the week cricket inside and then go back out and play some more cricket. So I just always loved being outside and playing sport when I was young. So yeah, it's probably where it all came from.
Yeah, and then Hugh, as you were growing up, was there someone that you aspired to or had the posters of or the trading cards of?
Yeah, for me it was Michael Hussey. He was my favourite player. It was a pretty cool thing for me. I actually got to meet him in the Big Bash, and he played for the Sydney Thunder, which was awesome. So when I found out I had the opportunity to go there, I asked for number 48, which was his number, and I've always worn that in cricket that I've played in. So yeah, he was my hero. So it was awesome to meet him, and he's just as good as bloke as everyone says he is. So yeah, it was awesome for me to meet him.
Yeah, and Hugh, were you a bit starstruck, bit of a fanboy at the time? Did you sort of stutter about your first question?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Dad was in with me. We're in the change rooms after the final, so obviously everyone was a little bit disappointed about the result. But yeah, to see him and say good day to him and have a chat about cricket was dream come true.
Now, Mike Hussey played a lot of Test cricket towards the tail end of his career, and also became known for a bit of a modern day, in my modern day, Michael Bevan in terms of getting the job done towards the end. The player that you relied on, you'd have in any team to kind of get you home. 2020, when you were growing up, was only just beginning. Did you have an inkling of playing 2020, or thinking that 2020 would be in the suite of tools for Hugh Weibgen?
Um, I mean, I guess just playing cricket, in the backyard and all that stuff, and you see the shots that the professionals are playing on the TV, and you want to try and emulate that and practice them in the backyard with your mates. So obviously, I was always trying the new inventive shots and stuff like that, and I thought I just love cricket, so any format, whether it was Test, 50 over, or T20 appealed to me. So I was always trying to, learn about all those different formats, and yeah, definitely appealed to me.
What is it about cricket that has appealed to you to make it so enjoyable for you?
I think probably like the main answer would just be like the team. Like I have so many good mates from cricket. Like the lifestyle of training hard and just being able to go out there and play with your mates, all just trying to win a game. I mean, Tom Straker, a young cricketer, he lives with me and my family now. He moved up from New South Wales, so I guess just having lifelong mates that you can live with and always talk about cricket is just awesome.
And in terms of watching cricket, and were you watching cricket as a kid? Did you get into the stats? Did you know all the players' names, etc.?
Yeah, I just used to watch heaps. I'd probably sit down when I was like 3 years old and just watch a full day's test match, and then during the lunch and tea breaks, I'd pull mum or dad out to throw to me for however long, and then jump back in, but start to play. So I just absolutely loved it for whatever reason. Yeah, I was just always sitting in front of the TV watching.
And Hugh, when it came to batting, what is it about batting that you find enjoyable?
Oh, I don't know, just I guess the challenge of trying to get better. I'm always trying to perfect stuff or think how I can get better. I mean, one of the best things about coming into the professional system is being able to pick the minds of your players like Davey Warner and your Marnuses and Uzzies and all that. And so yeah, I just seeing how the best go about it and how I can, learn from them and just keep trying to get better.
And do you have a particular innings that you feel like was one of your best?
Um, it's probably been a couple nice knocks, I guess I'd be happy with. Maybe one in the 19s World Cup. I got 100 against England, which was, I guess, an important game for us to help us get into the semi-finals. So, that was satisfying, being able to, get runs against England, who we don't like too often. But, yeah, so that was a satisfying one.
Let's talk about that 19s campaign. It's talked about in terms of the team, and you were captain of the team and beat India in the final, which is monumental. Do you want to talk about the lead up to the tournament, how the tournament went, and some of the key moments?
Yeah, sure. We were really lucky. Cricket Australia looked after us really well. We had a lot of preparation going into the tournament. We'd been on a few tours, went to England, went to Sri Lanka. Yeah, so we played a lot of cricket together as a team. So I think that was an advantage coming in for us. Everyone knew each other's games really well, and we were really lucky to have a quality squad. And a lot of those players have been going well now. Obviously, Semi Constas, playing Test cricket at the start he's had to that, it was so good to see. And that best thing is all the boys just love playing with each other, and I'm sure seeing Sammy go well was so awesome for everyone in the side.
In that particular tournament, do you also keep an eye on the other teams and the progress of some of those other players?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd only really played against England. That'd be the main. We had a series against them, so that was the team we'd only really played against. So coming up against those other teams, we didn't have too much idea of what they had and their strengths. So obviously have to look at a little bit of footage and learn on the go to prep for facing their bowlers and bowling to their batters. So lucky enough that we had the resources to do that. So yeah, it's obviously a key part of the games players researching the opposition. So yeah.
And then from a point of view of progressing your career, there's opportunities to get contracts in the Big Bash. There's opportunities to get contracts in Sheffield Shield and whatnot, and or Cricket Australia as well, at the highest level. How have you gone about managing the different types of contracts, I suppose, and the different formats that you're playing to become the best cricketer that you want to be?
Yeah, it's tricky nowadays with all the different formats and having to switch, back and forth. But I'm just trying to stay really adaptable, and then you kind of have my plans for what I need to do well to succeed in those different formats, and then kind of like a little blueprint that I can go back to, when I'm changing formats. But that's still not defined. I'm so young and still heaps to learn. So, but yeah, just having those keys that I can go back to when I'm switching from T20 to Red Bull cricket or whatever. So yeah.
When you've got playing in a team, in a high performing team, you've got individual aspects that obviously want to improve your individual game. You want to get runs as a batter, but you also got the team aspect, and then you've got your role within the team. And now your role within the BBL team is probably slightly different to the role that you might play in your the Australian 19 team, or might play in a first class game or a club game, etc. How have you gone in your head, I suppose, adapting to the different roles that you need to play in a team to potentially be a better person and a better player yourself?
Yeah, well, actually, in the Big Bash, I think I played 6 games and I think I batted in 6 different positions. So, like, to have that experience was awesome. I mean, I don't think many people would get that in their first 6 games. So,
So what were the positions?
I think first game I came in at 8.
Yep.
I don't really think anyone knew if I could hold it or not, but it was a bit of a pressure situation, so I kept sliding down, but that was fair enough. But then, yeah, I think then I opened, batted 3, batted 5, 6. So yeah, quite a few different spots, which was awesome for my development. I mean, getting to talk to all the different players that play those different roles within the side and how they go about it was awesome. And then I think I'll be a better player for it in the future, having that experience and being able to have to learn and adapt to different situations at different times of the game.
Speaking of different situations, your first game was a bit different, which where you got inserted into the game. Do you want to talk about that and what you're feeling? Half an hour before, an hour before, and then something happens and you whisk straight in the team.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I mean, first of all, when I saw the incident, I felt sick. It was horrific. But yeah, just I kind of quickly realised that I was probably a chance to play. I actually wasn't even meant to go on that trip. I was going to come home to Brisbane earlier, and then they took me as a 15th man, and I went and had a hit that morning with my cousin, just in the nets, and I still prepared like I was going to play the game, which I do just in case, or I go through my same routines and my notes and stuff like that. But yeah, it was bizarre how it all happened. I was pretty nervous straight away, but then once we started batting and stuff, I started to calm down a little bit. But yeah, it was a hell of an experience.
When you go out there and you're batting and you're saying this is just like a normal innings, is it just like a normal innings? But there's crowd noise, there's cameras, there's lots of things going on. How did you cope?
Yeah, it was bit bizarre. I'd never played in front of, probably more than 5,000. And then I think there was like 48,000 there, which was, and they were all cheering for Perth. I don't think there might have been about 10 Sydney Thunder fans in there. So, yeah, the noise was unbelievable. Those few overs I fielded after the incident, I think they hit a few boundaries and you couldn't hear the person 5 meters away from you. And same as when you're batting, you couldn't hear your non-striker calling out. So it was so loud. It was pretty satisfying at the end when we did win, and there was just a hush around the ground, and all of a sudden you couldn't hear anyone, and you could just hear your teammates on the sideline, cheering and clapping. So that was a pretty satisfying moment.
And then you're getting the kit back on. You're going to the airport. You're part of a squad. You're travelling from Perth, and you're doing or wherever you're bouncing around the country. It's all a bit of a whirlwind, and then you're playing at these amazing stadiums. Was there one particular moment during the Big Bash that it was a bit of a pinch yourself moment, or were you just like lapping up every moment?
Oh, I mean, probably lapping up every moment. There was a couple probably ones playing at the Gabba was awesome against the Heat. Not my debut, but kind of was. First full game and playing in front of family and friends was awesome. And then probably the other one was opening the batting with David Warner was pretty surreal, and that was a awesome opportunity and something. If I was looking back as a young kid, I'd be pretty chuffed to say that I did.
And then the Gabba, how special was that? Did you go to the games as a kid? Did you go out to the Gabba? Did you watch some Test matches one day as 2020s, etc.? Is it a special place for you?
Yeah, always when I watched the games when Australia were playing, or even Queensland Bulls were playing. I remember going there heaps when I was young, so I can still remember a few of the innings and games that I went along to there. So be out there playing, and I guess against the Brisbane team was awesome. So no, very special.
And then, as a child, you're growing up. Did you have any particular goals? As did you want to always be a professional athlete? Were there some other hobbies? Were there some other sports that you played? You thought, oh, actually, it's not just about cricket, or has it always been about cricket?
Yeah, and I loved AFL. So played that heaps when I was young. Then I was in the Lions Academy until about under 15s, 16s, and then
So this is
realised I
only
was
a few
too.
years ago, Hugh. Don't forget when you said when you were young, right? You
No,
still are
but
young, right?
no, but I realised I was, too slow and not fit enough, so sacked off that pretty quick. But no chance for that. So
Yeah,
decided to
but
go off the cricket.
AFL, eh? What? Just the love of the game, and in terms of the movement, the pace, the strategy, etc.
Yeah, I just always loved footy. I lived a few years in Victoria. So dad was massive AFL fan, so always appealed to me playing footy. I mean, if you live in Victoria, you play AFL in the off season. So just always loved it. Go for the Hawks. So it's good to watch
Oh,
them at the
right.
moment.
Okay, yeah, the Hollywood Hawks, they're calling them.
Yeah, yeah, no,
And
good, exciting to
they've got
watch
a
them.
bit of a challenge this week. I'm just checking my phone who they got this week. You probably already know that. But I think there's a bit of a. Oh, they got the GWS. That's right. Yeah. So that should be an interesting
Tough
game.
game.
So, good game. And do you love watching sport, even though now you're playing as a professional athlete?
Yeah, no, love watching all sport. Probably AFL is the main one on a weekend that I'll sit down and watch most of the games. Just any live sport, I'm pretty happy to watch. I love my golf as well, so always watching golf and just pretty much any sport in general. I'm happy.
Yeah. And speaking of watching, did you watch yourself, Bat? Do you watch any highlights? Are you a person that does that?
Oh, not really. Maybe once or twice. Probably some of the boys will say I'm lying, but no, just watch it once or twice. But move on pretty quick. Try to anyway.
And what's the key? Why is Hugh Weibgen getting an opportunity? What's one of your super strengths that you think that someone else didn't get that opportunity? Why you?
I think probably my ability to read the game. Sometimes I think that's one of my strengths. Being not out at the end of games, and it's probably what I try and base off. I just try and whatever's best for the team and try and put us in positions that's going to help us win the game. That's pretty much how I try and play my cricket. If I ever, unsure, I kind of just think, what does the team need from me now? And then I go from there. So yeah, it's probably how I approach the game.
And through that comes leadership qualities, and you have been a leader in the past. How do you see leadership, and how do you see leadership in the future from yourself in regards to being captains of teams?
Yeah, I mean, I've just always enjoyed doing it when I was young. I love the tactical side of the game, and just being able to have a think about how we can, challenge oppositions and get out their batters or whatever. I just love that challenge. But yeah, I'm not too bothered. I'm just happy to be playing cricket, and if a captaincy role came my way and whatever side I was playing, I'd be happy and confident enough to do it. But yeah, I'm just happy playing, and I'm always thinking of what I would do in the situation if I was captain, even if I wasn't. So yeah, I've just love that side of the game.
And then when it comes to batting practice, and we talked about the different formats as well, in regards to training and the variation of trying different shots. When 2020, there's new shots that are being created all the time. Broadly speaking, how do you go about sort of adding a new shot or a new thing into your repertoire that where cricket's an ever evolving, changing game?
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. I'll just get volume on it. I'll go to the people who I think can help me with that shot. I mean, one of the ones in Big Bash, they probably realised that going up that level, you need to have a couple more shots and maybe get you out of pressure situations. So I know I went and spoke with Sam Billings, who was a player who plays the reverse sweep and switch stance shot really well. So there was a couple of times where I got caught out, I think, and I realised I need to develop maybe another boundary option against spin. And I went to him and had a chat, and I've since been practicing the nets, and we had a trial game, and pulled it out, and it was successful. But just keep trying to tick over new shots and just go to people who I think play it well, whether that's players or even coaches who have played it well in the past, and just get their thoughts on it, and then from there just get the volume on it.
Yep. And how did you go adapting to different pitches, different wickets, different teams, different pace of the ball, etc. In the Big Bash? It all comes so quickly, and you need to adapt pretty quickly in your in your toolkit. That one day you're playing on a flat whacker pitch, but you might be then playing in an overcast SCG.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the things that's a challenge. And, with the games being a few days apart, you're obviously flying to a different place and then playing on that pitch. I mean, we went from the Gabba to NG Stadium, which is, a bit lower spin friendly pitch. So having to come up with plans of that. Very lucky that, when I was with the Thunder, they planned really well. The batting coaches and all the senior players, Davey constantly sending messages into the group chat about, plans about how we're going to go again about each bowler facing each bowler and just those simple things that we can control. So a lot of note taking and planning goes into it. But then yeah, when we're out in the middle, we can just play what's in front of us.
And then you do all the notes and you prepare as well as you possibly can, and you go out in the middle and you get a good one, or you get caught, or you get run out for a duck, first ball or second ball. How do you react to that?
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing initially, but at the end of the day, if I did my process and stuck to my plans, then I can live with getting out that way. If it was a shot that I backed myself to play and a strength of mine, and I just misexecuted, then I can live with that. But probably more if I go away from my game plan and go away from my processes, then I can probably be a little bit more frustrated. And then I'll just reflect on how I'll go about it differently next time.
Are you a bit of a perfectionist? Do you kind of like sort of mull on the moment for a fair bit, or do you kind of give it 5 minutes and then you're like, nah, I'm done now?
Oh, I probably used to be, a bit of a sook, or take a bit longer to get over it. But now I've kind of realised, you're going to fail more often than not. So I just, accept that, it didn't quite go to plan, and then I'll park that, and then I'll reflect that night of, maybe what I could have done slightly different or what I did well, and then, then I'll move on and come up with a plan for the next game. So yeah, definitely a part of it, and of something I've probably gotten a lot better at over the last year or so.
And in terms of batting time, when you're not in a 2020 game, but certainly the mental capacity of being patient as a batter, how have you gone about keeping upstairs right as well as physically?
Yeah, still a massive ongoing thing for me. Something I'm trying to work on. I mean, as you alluded to earlier, being younger, we mainly came up in the T20s and 50 over cricket. Haven't played as much red ball cricket, so that's still a massive learning piece for me, and something that I'm trying to improve my game in that area. For me, it's a lot of talking to my coaches, keeping things pretty simple. I've done a fair bit of work over the past couple of years in that, even a little bit with sports psychologists and stuff like that, just about how I can maintain my concentration for longer periods of time and execute for longer. So yeah, I put a bit of work into it with those people, and it's paid off a little bit, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, mate. And I'm doing this. There's a new thing that I do is I jump on to play cricket, right? And have a look at some of these stats. And you'd be familiar with play cricket because you're one of the early adopters, and you've been playing for quite some time. But there's some serious amount of matches that you've played. in your career on play cricket. Any idea on how many matches you've played?
Um, not too sure. Maybe like 200 something.
No, mate, 316. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
316 matches.
a lot of sad days.
A lot of Saturdays, a lot of Saturdays and Sundays probably as well,
Yeah.
potentially if you make finals. 296 innings. How many runs do you reckon?
Oh, I could be. Oh, I'm not too sure. You put me on the spot here a bit. Maybe 7,000.
Oh, not bad. Bit higher though. Go
Bit
higher.
high. Oh, 8,000.
Higher again.
Oh, we'll go 9.
9,209. It's a lot of runs. At an average of 44.49. Out of those 296 recorded games, again, this is by play cricket, 13 ducks, 89 not outs, and a high score, which I'm going to get you. What do you reckon your highest score is on this app? It might have been the games that are recorded, don't forget. You might not, although Josh Brown did get 230 in a warehouse game that was recorded, so maybe you remember your highest score here.
I'm thinking 140 something, 130 something.
139, mate.
Yeah,
you're on the
okay.
money, hey?
Yeah.
It must get blurred with all those hundreds that you made, the 800s, hey?
No, it's not. Not too many.
And a little known fact is that there's 27 wicketkeeper catches. What's the go there?
Yeah, I used to keep. Not anymore, but when my young days at Brisbane Grammar and through Valleys coming, I used to be a keeper, but yeah, stop doing it. Yeah, I'll probably not sure, but yeah, no, I used to love keeping.
Yeah, so did I. 38 stumpings, and with the ball, mate, pretty handy. 205 wickets. How are you going as a bowler these days?
Yeah, I haven't been bowling the last year. I've had a couple of back issues which have restricted me from bowling, but hopefully if all goes well, I'll be bowling in a few weeks and getting back to that. So I'll be good to go for next season with the bowling. But yeah, just bowl some straight break off spinners. So yeah, hopefully get back bowling
in the
then
nets? Do the batters like having you bowling to them? They're like, come on, mate, and then they sort of are you a bit sick of them hitting around, or are you okay? Like up for the challenge? I'm going to get you out.
Oh, and I probably get tonked around a bit, but that's all a part of it. If I get them out, after they hit me for a few sixes, I can still carry on a little bit. So,
and your best bowling was 5 for 14 on play cricket. Do you remember
that? Yeah, I think that might have been for grammar. I think.
Oh right, yeah. There you go. And bowling offies.
Yeah, offies.
Yep, and then Hugh, cricket at the moment in your life. It is the off season, even though there's not really much of an off season when it comes to professional 2020 players around the world. What do you do to switch off?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's probably I play a lot of golf when I'm healthy. Play a lot of that. I did see you interview the CEO of pickleball the other day.
Yes,
which is
Rob
I've been
Shell.
getting into with a couple of my mates, pickleball and paddleball, all that stuff. So I always love playing games and sports like that. So yeah, I've been.
Mate, the National Pickleball League is going from strength to strength, and the sport's going from strength to strength. Are you any good at it?
Oh no, I'm not great, but I'm trying to get better. There's a few of us boys who are practicing and playing a little bit, but it's just good fun, and we're all loving it.
And mate, in terms of confidence in your game, obviously being selected and playing the Big Bash will give you a level of confidence, I suppose, to play with it. How did you come out at the other end of the Big Bash, knowing that you've got next year and the year after you're only 20 years old, that you've got a lifetime of cricket ahead? Do you get a bit of confidence, or was there some sort of ups and downs during it?
Oh yeah, there's definitely ups and downs through the thing. I mean, I missed out in the final, which was fair enough. I had quite a few opportunities and probably didn't make the most of it as I would have liked, but that's a part of it. And I think all those those little failures would put me in good stead for the future. And I mean, just getting that experience at the age of 20, playing Big Bash cricket, in front of crowds and just learning to deal with those little external pressures, and I think that'll put me in good stead in the future. So although it might not have gone completely how I would have liked, there was still a couple moments where I had success, and that'll give me confidence to for years to come, hopefully.
And are you a bit of a structured person, like you do things in a structured order when you go out to bat, like your pads go on first, you're superstitious almost?
Not really. I probably used to be a little bit, but no, I don't have too many superstitions now. When I'm out there batting, I'll have like a pre-ball routine, but not really from a superstitious perspective, just from a process and before each ball.
And then before a big game, you've played 6 of them now. Before a big game, they probably played at a little bit different times as well. How did you go with managing your sleep patterns before the game, particularly when you've just travelled a bit, or it might be an afternoon or it might be an evening game?
Yeah, we played pretty much mainly all evening games, so that was a new experience. Lucky to play a few of those games in the KFC T20 Max, the Brisbane comp, which was good experience, and I think that put me in good stead. But yeah, definitely you kind of on a bit different sleep schedule. I would go to bed a fair bit later throughout most of the 6 weeks, and then try sleep in a little bit to make that day a little bit shorter on game day. So definitely a couple of little adjustments, but yeah, it was all controllable.
And did you have a sort of a lucky something to eat before the game? Do you always have a particular food or routine to go to?
Not necessarily. I try and load up. I love food, so I'll try and get nice eggs in the morning and maybe a big breakfast. And I do love coffee, so I'll have a few coffees throughout the day, and yeah, that'll keep me in good stead.
And even on game day,
Yep. Even on game day, I have.
what's your flat white or your
Yeah,
latte?
I'm a flat white, pretty basic, but yeah, just have the flat white, and I'll have that probably a couple, maybe three throughout the day, and then
Yep.
yeah, I should be good
And
to
then you're
go.
buzzing, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
buzzing.
and then mate in Melbourne, did you get to visit any coffee shops? Any time to do that, or restaurants, etc., or was this like, mate, just go on the big bash?
No, there was plenty of times. I mean, I was lucky where I was staying was, a really nice spot and had plenty of nice cafes around me. So you could go for a walk and get a coffee. But yeah, no, it was plenty spare bit of spare bit of fair time,
Yeah, it's a fair bit of spare time. You say that
spare
10
bit of
times
spare
quickly.
time. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's pretty bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
And mate, as far as goals go, are you a goal setter? Is there something in mind for you to wanting to achieve in the short term, medium term, or long term?
Um, Probably just I try and not put too many like numbers on it or stuff like that. I just debuting for the Queensland Bulls would be a big one for me. Hopefully I can do that, sometime next season and that'd be big for me. It's something I'm working hard towards. So if I got an opportunity for that, it's definitely a goal of mine and something that I want to do. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to work way towards that. And I'm sure if I'm working hard, then those numbers and opportunities will take care of themselves.
Yeah, and what do you think specifically that you need to do to make your debut for the Red Bull Queensland Bulls 4-day game? Bit different to 2020.
Yeah, probably just force my way in. I had, a decent Red Bull for Valleys this season, so hopefully just, keep scoring runs in that. I had a couple unfortunate injuries this season, which probably prevented me from playing second 11, which is, the next step for me. Hopefully try and dominate that and get a couple hundreds would be nice and push my way in through, through runs.
And as in terms of teammates, is there one particular teammate that you'd always love to room with?
Oh, I'll probably have to say my actual roommate, Straker. He's well, he'd be filthy if I didn't say him. So
Yep.
no, I'll go on him. Callum
And
Fiddler would also be a bit upset, but
well, he's bowling rockets at the moment in South Australia at the moment. I actually see the second innings they're batting now, but fourth for in the first innings.
yeah, he's a star and he's bowling fast. I think it was 150k he got clocked at. So yeah, it's
Yep.
not slow.
And then what about bowlers? You don't want to face Callum Video. Is anyone else you don't want to face?
Um, there's quite a few. I could
It's a big
list, but
list. Yep.
big list. But no, any of the Queensland boys in the nets. Sometimes on a dicey Gabba wicket in the
Yeah.
nets can be a good challenge. But nah, it's good fun facing them all, and yeah, also skillful. So it's a good challenge.
Yep. And do you prefer facing spin, fast, medium, slow, swing? What's your anything?
I'd probably say playing spin's a strength of mine. Something that I would feel like I score well against, and come up with some nice plans. So I'd probably go spin.
And then seeing one of your colleagues in the under-19s make his debut on Boxing Day, sort of set the Test cricket world alight. Playing for Australia, getting that baggy green. The aspirations for you to get a baggy green, is it in the back of your mind?
Oh, of course, I always, as I said, since a young kid, like love watching Test cricket, and hopefully one day can get a baggy green. And it was actually awesome. I was at that Boxing Day Test, sitting in the crowd, seeing, and then to see Sammy do what he did, was awesome and just inspired me even more, and going to keep making me work even harder. So yeah, it was awesome to see him go well, and kind of shows that. If we perform at the next level, then there'll be an opportunity for that down the track, hopefully.
Yeah, and hopefully one day you get that baggy green, and that could be your scoreboard moment then. But I'm going to ask you what your scoreboard moment is now, which is a moment in time which is pretty visual to you, which basically potentially changes the trajectory of your life, but also something which meant a lot to you.
Yeah, I'd probably go in under 15s. I missed out on a 20-man squad in the Australian 20-man squad for the 15s nationals. I got player of the tournament on that in that tournament, and then they were sitting down, and so I just got my big trophy, and then they named the 20-man squad, and it was alphabetical order too, so it got to Weibgen last, and they called out from South Australia some names, so and then I was a little bit disheartened by that, but looking back on it, I think it's probably the best thing that's happened for my cricket. I realised I needed to go away and get better, and that next season, I think I worked as hard as I ever have, and lucky to have lots of coaches that helped me through that. But I think it's the best thing that's happened for my cricket, missing out on that team.
Now, at the time, it wasn't the best thing that ever happened to you, and in retrospect, you probably would have been a 15-year-old boy that's sort of wear his heart in his sleeve and like why, and maybe the negative thing comes in. I'm keen to know about like some things like that, some resilience that sort of has made you a stronger person, as well as after that, whereby you think, okay, I am good enough, please, but you don't get selected. How that makes you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was massive for me. Just because you feel like I thought I was a decent enough chance to get picked in the 20-man squad, and then you're absolutely shattered when you don't hear your name called out. But yeah, it made me aware of some things that I needed to get better. I needed to get fitter. I hadn't grown at that age, so I was still a chubby little kid, and so I knew I needed to do heaps of work on my strength and conditioning and that side of the game, and then a couple of technical things as well that I wanted to try and work on. So yeah, I definitely had a few of those moments along the line, which I think is sometimes the best things for your sport, or for whatever you're doing.
And now you've been struck into people knowing your name and looking you up on Google and saying who's this, and you've got social media as well. You know, now you're in the public spotlight. You're not just in the under 15 spotlight and the people that know cricket, etc. How have you gone with maybe looking at some criticism or maybe looking at some feedback from people that maybe are not in the inner circle, and even towards the people that are in the inner circle giving you feedback?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a tough thing and something that I think a lot of people have different ways about going about it. For me, I don't get too bothered by it. I kind of think, if I wouldn't go to them for advice, then, it doesn't really bother me than what they say about me, which, I mean, everyone can have their opinion and say what they want. It's a part of the sport. So I think I deal with it all right. And I've probably had a little bit of negative criticism, but I mean, mainly most of it's all positive when you're a bit younger, I feel like, but probably something I'll come accustomed to in the years when things don't go to plan. But yeah, it's definitely spoken to some of the older boys about it, and they definitely have their ways of going about it.
And does everyone do a little bit different? Some read it and laugh it off, and some don't read it. Some sort of, it hurts sometimes, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of a few of the boys, some of them, just even go on, private mode when they're during Big Bash so that the messages can't come into them, or some people read it and, it helps them. So it helps, add fuel to the fire, and they want to go out there and perform well. So I think probably for me, I probably won't read it, to be honest. I don't really go on comments sections about cricket posts, especially when I'm involved, and I just try and keep, I guess, a level head, and for every good comment, there's going to be a bad one. So yeah, just try and stay level as possible.
And we are in the Instagram generation. How have you gone about posting on social media and getting a following and having people follow you and direct message you or give their own armchair critic or armchair praise, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a part of what the sports now. Everyone seems to be buying into the social media, and it can definitely grow your profile, I guess, and stuff like that. So I know quite a few of the cricketers, do those day in the lives and stuff like that, which is obviously help growing their brand. But yeah, I just I guess post every now and then, and yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah, you could do a couple of reverse ramps at the MCG and Boxing Day and go up 100,000 followers. Yeah, that'd be one way as well.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice.
And Hugh, if we repeat this podcast in a few years' time, where do you feel like your cricket game would be, and what would you have liked to achieve in the game of cricket?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'd be, playing for Queensland and being a bull and, try and to do everything I possibly can to help, win a Shield final. I mean, it's awesome seeing the boys there now playing the Shield final and loving watching. But in a few years, if I'm playing in those games, that'd be awesome to be a part of that. But yeah, and I guess just keep, being a better cricketer. Hopefully, I'm pushing my name forward for, selections in whatever teams, but just, still enjoying the game as well and still playing and yeah.
And then I know I don't want to talk about a plan B because you are so young and you start of your cricketing journey, your professional journey. But is there some interest outside of cricket that you've got in the back of your mind that potentially you could pursue once the finite life of career of cricket, maybe 20 years later, has finished?
Yeah, no, for sure. Always got to have a backup option, if it doesn't go to plan. So I'm at uni at the moment. I put it on hold because I'm going over to the UK in the off season, but I'm doing property economics, so I'm interested in property and how all that works. So don't know too much about it all just yet because only done a few subjects and whatnot. But yeah, definitely interested in that, and yeah, a couple other things as well. So yeah,
I think young Tom Whitney does property economics as well.
yep, he does. Yeah, so hopefully send me a couple assignments or something.
Yeah, with the fast bowlers, mate, you never know.
Yeah, got to make friends with them.
You got to make friends with them. Hugh, thank you so much for being part of the Scoreboard podcast today and giving a bit of a snapshot of your life from the early days of hitting a cricket ball to where you are now. Congratulations on your 6 games thus far in the Big Bash. A big, bright future ahead in cricket. Looking forward to sharing your progress with everyone and also looking forward to catching up.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.